one time.
It's so
Hey,
good. Hello.
welcome back.
I know. It's so good to see everything. I'm like, it's all nostalgic for me now.
Yeah, but it's okay. I mean, all good things comes and go and return
Yep.
again.
I'm
And
so excited to see all this back again. I'm so happy right now. Yay.
yeah, me too. Me too. It makes my Tuesdays complete.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely. It's
yeah,
only Tuesday.
yeah. No, and that's okay because for a lot of folks, what what comes after Tuesday is Wednesday, hump day for a lot of people.
That's
So
right.
that's okay, and they get a chance to enjoy the weekends. So for those that get a chance to enjoy weekends,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and
Exactly.
yeah. So what's new in your life?
Man, a whole lot of nothing. I am officially a Game of Thrones fan now, so that's been cool. I have been watching all the Game of Thrones and the House of Dragons and learning all of the lore, and I'm getting ready to read the book. So this year, I have been replacing my childhood love of Harry Potter with now Game of Thrones. So I'm excited. This year has been really hard, but at the same time, really interesting and exciting. So that's been
Well,
neat.
a good challenge then, I guess.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's so cool to like learn all this new lore and stuff, and just this whole world in the Game of Thrones series and George R. R. Martin's books and stuff. And it's so cool to see that there's just this whole world of stuff that I've completely missed out on that is totally in my lane. So it's been fun.
Well, I mean, and as I was saying beforehand, before we got on the air, I'm looking forward to the end of this humidity. So
Yeah.
I get a little bit happier when August gets here because then then September gets here, Labor Day, my second favorite holiday of the year for obvious reasons, and then I know what to expect, and I don't have to sit there and perspire for any old reason anymore. I can actually be comfortable, and I'm probably in my best disposition overall during the fall months. So whereas
Ah.
a lot of people are like gloomy and all that in September, October, November, and all that, I'm like, no, I'm like the most upbeat and cheerful. So
Yep, same. It's Halloween season for me, so this is my time of year to shine.
yeah, I have an interesting idea what I might be dressing up for Halloween. So
What are you gonna do?
Uh, well, I'll tell you probably after. Just remind me, and I'll tell you after the show because I would like to surprise my guests.
Okay, you got it.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah,
I might do a Game of Thrones character because I'm
yeah.
obsessed. So,
You'll crack up when you find out.
all right. I can't wait. I'll,
Yeah,
I'll, I'll be a Game of Thrones character. I'll dress up as a dragon for Halloween.
yeah. When once you find out what I'm going to dress up as for Halloween, you'll probably think that'll definitely be you. So
That's awesome. I can't
yeah,
wait.
yeah.
Oh yeah. No politicians this year.
It's not going to be a politician. It is an actor playing a caricature of somebody from a TV show.
Oh, perfect. That's awesome. Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And I'll give you a little bit of a hint. There is a political connection
Okay.
to it. Are you
Oh
familiar on Twitter with Post Left Watch?
no.
Oh, Post Left Watch is horrible. Post Left Watch is one of those accounts on Twitter that pretends to be left by punching left.
Okay. Kind of
Yeah,
like the Maverick News people.
kind of like how do I describe? um, he's basically a shit-lived channel that sits there and just attack everybody, that's on the left by calling them right wing.
Okay.
And I've been calling him out on it. And so he attacked me one time, and when he attacked me once, uh, I just it was so damn funny. I shared it with everybody online. I even did a video on it. So
Oh shit.
I like, you know what? Now I think I'm gonna go ahead and do that character for Halloween.
There you go. Hell yeah. That's gonna
Yeah,
be cool. I can't wait to see it.
yeah. So
Good.
let's see, what should we, I guess, should we start with your video, I guess?
No, no, no. Go for it. Do yours. You are so over prepared. I'll take over the end if you want.
Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, we can coin flip. So, or I mean, okay. Well, I got a couple of materials here.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of things going on since well, I mean, since we, since the hiatus a
I
few
know.
months ago.
I
But
know.
man, the news just keep getting crazier and crazier and all of that lately. So
Mm-hmm. The
um
news just keeps on newsing.
exactly. um you know what I think we're gonna do? I think we should start off with a little bit of comedy.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And so let me go ahead and get this link out. Give me a second here.
What's up, Mr. H? Good to see you, sir. And Desert Mantis.
Okay. Okay. Let me do it this way. All right. I'm so sorry. Hold on a second. I know what I did wrong, but I
No,
will
you're
correct
good.
it. I will correct it very quickly.
No, you're good.
Yeah. It shall get corrected right now as we speak.
Mm-mm-mm.
I can't believe I did that. Why is it doing that? Okay. There's my revised list. And here it is. All right. And we'll start with this one here. And it's loading up, and okay. And well, I will tell you what this is about. And I've been wanting to watch. Okay. Oh, darn, 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 darn. Give me a second. Give me a second.
Okay.
Okay. Before I get started, are you familiar with the New Norm show?
No.
The New Norm show is a show started by Twitter. I refuse to call it X, by the way. The New Norm show is a show from Twitter, and
Okay.
it's basically a right wing show with Dave Rubin playing one of the characters, Larry Elder, that ran for governor. You probably remember him
Mm-hmm.
in California. He's playing one of the other characters on the show, and it's a cartoon show that portrays an obnoxious caricature of what they think people, everybody on the left, they want to paint a negative caricature of everyone on the left. That's, maybe in
Yeah.
some extreme cases it's true, in the marginal cases, but really it's not true. And if you're like a boomer conservative, you will look at that and think this is the world that exists on the left. And it's really not accurate, but that's the world that I actually think they wish did exist, because it's, to me, it's like outrage porn. That these people are just in my opinion, are really um addicted to. So
Right.
I'm going to go ahead and play this video. It's amazing. AC is commenting on it himself. So, and his take and his brother's take on it's pretty funny too. So let me go ahead and get that ready, and we will get underway. All right.
Dude, Scotty. Maybe it's time we watch this.
Oh no. Oh.
Okay, so this is a
It's a Daily Wire cartoon, isn't it?
I don't think it is actually. This is the first sitcom.
Oh,
that's
this is the X
exclusively
one?
on X, dude.
Okay, yeah, dude. Well, I mean, it's same different company, basically.
No, Scotty. No. This is different. Have you seen any of this?
Unfortunately, yes.
All right. I wish I was popping your cherry on this one, but I guess I'll have to settle for, sloppy seconds or whatever.
What's that?
Progress. It's the new norm.
The new norm ain't the same.
No.
No, ain't the name any norm.
It's funny because they have to
It's not actually.
No,
it's not funny at all.
No, I'm saying
I know.
not even the show, but it's funny because what they have to do is the show always do the same thing. Young people are all these just misguided liberals who are just like, it's progress to put a rainbow flag on your beer, and this guy is just like common sense normers are like, but I just want to drink a bar and not think about anything in the world. It's like,
The old norm. I'm the old norm. I want normal beer.
wait a minute. Did it actually affect the taste of the beer? The can it comes in?
It fucking did, dude. Yes.
How? How
Dude,
does the can
that beer taste gay now?
Oh, it tastes like gay beer. Can beer be gay?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know.
Hey, if you like this clip, you might like the full stream, which I do every Sunday, more or
That is
less.
hilarious.
Pessimist Productions Patreon, link down below. Thank you kindly. Who's this girl? Is this supposed to be his granddaughter, or is this supposed to be his daughter somehow?
I'm some woke young person that hates everything Norm stands for.
Is Norm Macdonald the old Norm? Maybe.
Ugh. It's your fault I got house arrest.
You're the one who threatened the school board,
I gently suggested
yelled.
they stop brainwashing my daughter that girls aren't girls and men aren't men.
Sometimes
Goils were goils and men were men. Mister, we could use a man like Herbert Hoover again.
they're neither, or both, or furry and dressed like dogs.
That dog is the best character.
So far, has actually done the most in the show.
Yeah, like no one else has done anything. That dog pissed on that dude and made his little collar, his little ankle bracelet shock him. So
His
that's
ankle monitor.
that's the best thing that's happened so far. This was animated in front of a live studio audience.
Also, you have a victim complex. So this guy, I guess, threatens the lives of the school board members for, I guess, disagreeing with him politically. So then he's under house arrest. And it's somehow like, this is the guy you're supposed to empathize with. It's like, oh, okay. So you guys are victims as usual.
Yeah.
Everything. I don't know what's about conservative media, but they're always somehow the victims. It doesn't matter how much they dominate society, American culture and society. Every time they have a media portrayal, it's like there's under siege from all sides.
What are they going to do when we live under the Trump fascist dictatorship? You think they'll still figure out some way to be victims?
Oh my God, of course.
Man.
Ow! Janice! What's that?
Warning, offensive. Actually, that is one of my pronouns. Also, they, them, and me.
You're non-binary?
How do you know that word?
I learned it in school.
That's why I'm
Wait,
locked up.
so this girl just likes the guy's this person, right?
Oh
Simply
my God.
because
You're non-binary.
yeah, just because they're non-binary. That's all you have to be is I'm non-binary.
You get whatever
Oh, my-
genitalias I have in a state of arousal, sir, madam, or whatever you are. Yes.
Oh, look, Black Lives Matter, and it sounds like it's voiced by Dave Rubin.
It is. It fucking is. It's fucking Dave. Unfunny ass Ruben. I mean, if you're gonna fucking sit down and decide, like, I would like to create the least funny piece of animation in history, Like, who else would you get but Dave Rubin?
That's true. Call
Like,
Dave
come on,
Rubin.
you have to.
Norm, the judge agreed to conditional parole.
What condition?
Where's my room?
That's
You're
staying here?
Chaz is part of a new government.
And this audience, they're fucking amused, easily amused by
It's a new government program that means non-binary woke leftists
Has
have to
there,
live with us.
Has there been a joke in this yet? I don't know if you guys know this. Hey, American right wing. I don't know
Oh,
if you
the
guys know
dog
this.
peeing on him. That's a joke.
I guess, yeah. Okay, I'll count that as a joke. Nothing else has been a joke. Nothing else has been a joke.
I'm just going to interrupt for a second and pause it. What do you think of this cartoon so far? Have you heard about it? Now, do you know what I'm talking about now?
Yeah, I've heard this. I've heard about this, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, it's like an obnoxious caricature of what they think the left is supposed to be.
Yep.
And I just kind of like, I think this is really
The way they word it just drives me crazy. Like him, the dad saying that he's got house arrest because he went to the school to tell them that girls are girls and boys are boys. Like the way that they word it, like you went to the school, you threatened a school, and now you're on house arrest. Like, stop playing the fucking victim card because you believe that girls are girls and boys are boys, different from science and biology and economics or sociology, and however the school wants to see fit for the kids' learning capabilities. This shit drives me crazy. I can't believe that they think that this stuff is going to be a funny cartoon to people other than like boomers out in like the Bible Belt. It doesn't make sense.
Well, the thing about it is, I mean, there are neo-Nazis and Klansmen that are not being house arrested for being, white nationalist assholes. So I don't expect somebody who's a little fuddy-duddy and old-fashioned on gender roles and sexuality issues to have a bracelet on their ankle. If they're not doing this for white nationalists, they're not going to do this for somebody who's a little fuddy-duddy on gender roles or what have you.
Right.
And
Yeah. Please tell me where in America somebody got house arrest for going to a school and doing that. I want to know where a case is for that for proof.
Yeah, I don't see it happening. I mean, and honestly, I would be opposed to somebody being put in a bracelet for having an obnoxious thought. I mean,
Right.
People have a right to believe what they want to believe, even if I disagree passionately with what they believe in. I mean, I would not. The libertarian side, civil libertarian rather, tells me don't do this, because if this really was a thing and they started doing this, it's going to create more people like Norms in the long run. No, I don't believe this is happening for a second. I call bullshit on it, but they want to make you think, not you per se, but make people think this is happening all over around the country, and it isn't a thing.
Nope.
It's not happening at all, and that's what drives me crazy, because they want to present it like, oh, this is happening before your very eyes.
Right.
It's ridiculous. And have you noticed the set in the background? How familiar it looks?
Yeah, it looks like all the rest of the 90s houses, like Al Bundy's house. The house looks like the house from Family Guy. It looks like all the cartoon houses.
Actually, to me, it looks like the house from All in the Family.
Yeah. A lot of houses had that, where there was like a couch right there and then the staircase behind it, and then like the kitchen, to the other side, and the front door to one side. So there's tons of TV houses that look like that. Definitely did the good work on the nostalgic factor of making it look like all the other TV houses that they're used to. It looks like, Roseanne had the same thing, except where the staircase goes up sideways, there was a wall right there, but there was a couch and a staircase and a front door on one side and the kitchen on the other side. So a lot of shows had it like that.
Yeah, what's so sad about Roseanne is that her turn to the right, because I used to like Roseanne. I mean, I'm not gonna say the show's still fine. I just hate what she became.
Yeah, I voted for her in 2013 for the Green Party. So seeing her do what she's done, how she's turned now, yeah, it's sad.
Yeah, it's really sad what happened. What happened to her?
A lot of our people that happened to. I mean, I bought Russell Brand's book 2 years ago, and now look at him. So I
written him off myself, because I just to me, I seen a grift going on with him.
Mm-hmm.
I started to recognize the grift and everything, and
I did last year a little bit, but like 2 years ago, to me, he seemed like a more intelligent, logical version of Marianne Williamson to me. That's how I viewed him. But after within this last year or so, all the stuff's come out and the things that he's been saying on his own YouTube show, yeah, he's definitely just lost his shit. But that's how, like I said, that's how it all goes. We love Roseanne. Now look at her, it's just, you get to know your idol long enough, they end up turning into the villain. So
I saw what happened to Tulsi Gabbard. I mean,
right.
I'm really saddened what happened to her, because
right.
Me and Tommy from Tommy Nation Politics, I mean, he was like a big time supporter of hers too, and we were like really distraught by I'm not gonna say regression, basically.
Yeah.
And and I noticed that Julian Assange was her big thing 4 years ago. I told a friend of mine, I said she would never shut the fuck up in a good way about Julian Assange 4 years ago. And let me pause that for a second. You realize the last time we were doing a show, Julian Assange was still behind bars?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and that's wow.
I know. We don't have to say free Julian Assange anymore. It's so nice.
I have to say, pardon Julian Assange.
Yeah. Yeah.
But getting back to what I was saying, she wouldn't shut the fuck up in a good way about Julian Assange. And I haven't heard her talk about Julian Assange when he got freed because of her grift.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I think that Russell Brand might be willing to talk about Julian Assange even now more than her. Even Tim Pool, what does that tell you?
Yep. Well, a broken clock is right twice a day.
Yeah. I guess we'll continue the rest of this. I'll put it on a faster speed, and then we'll get underway. Right. So let me go ahead and get it on the normal speed to 1.25. What
up, Game.Film? What up, Hirsch?
Yeah, I agree.
Like, true. That's coming to live with us. That's not a joke. There's no what's the joke?
That's like a question statement, basically.
Program
to re-educate homophobic, transphobic, racist.
Charlie, finally, someone normal.
I don't understand.
What? He has a black friend? No!
But he's racist and horrible.
But I thought he was a racist. No! What? Okay, so does this count as a joke? That this guy was calling him racist, but then it turns out he has a black friend, so...
I guess. It's a very weak joke.
It's a weak joke, but it counts as a joke, right?
Yeah.
So that's 2 jokes so far.
So. You're black.
Did that just Black Whisper?
You're his friend.
Is that a joke? Is Black Whisper a joke? Is the creation of the phrase, did that just Black Whisper? Does that count as a joke?
I don't know, dude.
I'm on the fence, too.
And, boss, speaking of, when you coming back?
Why is this dude's pants tucked in like that? Like, if you could draw, I mean, like, this is a drawn character, right? Why would you draw his pants tucked in? Like, if you're that fat, no dude that's that fat
is gonna bother.
Tucked in their fucking pants, dude. No one that fat does that.
Yeah, why bother at that point? You're just, it's like a fucking half girdle.
To the trophy shop.
As soon as I get rid of this, which means I got to take in that.
Chaz is here to re-educate.
So there's a robot.
Offensive.
That lets him know when what he says is offensive. Is that a joke?
I guess.
I guess that counts as a joke.
Norm.
In non-bonery stuff.
Have there been any funny jokes? No.
Not even close, dude.
I'm allergic to dogs.
It's okay. Billy is an emotional support dog and non-binary.
Oh, okay then. Good dog.
I like the dog because it's non-binary like me.
Wow. That's true. Very true.
Come here to get away
All
from
of a
woke.
sudden, he's not allergic
Trouble
to
at
dogs because it's
My
non-binary.
boy, or
Their
whatever
jokes are
it calls
ridiculous.
himself now, is thinking about
Yeah, it is ridiculous. This line is kind of ridiculous here too. When his friend boss, what he says here.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
True. Very true.
come here to get away from woke.
Trouble at home?
Oh, my boy, or whatever it calls themselves now, is thinking about
How come it sounds like
I come here to get away from woke. I mean,
Whatever it calls themselves, that is your child. You created that kid and you're calling them it, like as a joke to woke. Man, these conservatives do not understand us at all whatsoever. Oh God, this is hilarious.
yeah, it is hilarious. And I mean, and they, this trans panic that exists is out of hand. I mean,
Yeah.
one on the whole LGBTQ spectrum, even within the community, it's a very small section of that community, and it's a very small section of the population. Even though I know a few trans individuals, there's still a small section of the population, and they're like the section of the population that's, like they're targeted. They're targeted, and and even some progressives, turfy types or turf adjacency, if they're male, will go and go on that bandwagon and attack them anywhere from the softly, well, I don't know if they should be participating in the women's sports team, to to just dismissing them, or even flat out thinking they're a bunch of what, claiming they're perverted or sick in the head or what have you. I mean, it's ridiculous. And I'm not doing this to be woke or politically correct. I support their cause because it's the right thing. It's the right thing to do. I mean, if you believe in freedom, and you believe individuals ought to be individuals, and I see nothing literally wrong.
They're confused themselves. They don't even understand it themselves. I mean, look at what happened this last weekend with the Olympic boxing match. A girl who was born a woman, is a woman, just has maybe her biology just gives a little bit more testosterone more than normal girls, and all of a sudden she's a man. So by their perspective, because Joe Rogan produces a little less testosterone than most men, Joe Rogan's a fucking woman. Sorry, you guys. Like, y'all are confused as shit. Make up your fucking mind. Like, just so because a woman produces a little bit more testosterone, she's a man. So does that mean that, a guy who produces a little bit more estrogen is now a fucking woman? They're fucking confused. They don't understand it. And then they come up with shows like this to make fucking jokes about us as if they understand us. So these jokes are just falling by the wayside because nobody understands it. And then you got the dumb motherfuckers, conservatives, who sit there and think, oh, this shit's funny in their own little world. Oh God. I wish these people would get a nice little dose of reality to see what it's really like, because this is stupid, and they're just proving the point even further that they don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Well, there is an Elon Musk connection because this is on Twitter. Because that Elon Musk, I just found this out, that Elon Musk disowned his daughter because she's trans and everything.
He just needs to shut up too. He was claiming civil war this week, like saying that we're gonna go, like the UK is gonna go into civil war. He said civil war is inevitable. Like, bro, how about you shut the fuck up? Like, we're gonna go into a civil war because fucking Elon Musk said so. Like, what the fuck? What timeline are we on, and how the fuck did we get here?
Well, I mean, he's in there trying to start a Twitter war with Nicolas Maduro, too. I'm just like, he said he's going to go take them to Guantanamo Bay on a donkey. I mean, what the fuck,
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers look at him like he's a god and doing whatever he says, and we're all gonna start a civil fucking war because Elon says so. I want out of this timeline, whatever dimension we decided to hop into, whatever year, we need to go back and switch it because I am done with this one.
Yeah.
Over it.
Okay, let me get back to this.
Okay.
Like computer generated at certain points. Like I know there's voice actors in this. Like Dave Rubin was doing a voice earlier, right? But how come some of the deliveries are like, my boy or it or they or whatever it calls itself this week has been doing woke at my home?
Probably patched together.
Is it
clunky
AI
dialogue.
generated?
Oh, yeah, like they...
It does sound AI generated. Oh, I wanted to let you know that, do you know that Dave Rubin actually blocked me on Twitter?
No, wow. That's an honor.
Actually, strangely enough, the day that Dave Rubin blocked me on Twitter was the same day TJ, the Amazing Atheist, followed me on Twitter.
Oh shit! There you go. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking
That was just kind of crazy that happened. It was
Hell
a
yeah.
coincidence. So
Good.
yeah, but anyway,
couldn't get a good solid read, so they had to like Frankenstein it.
Yeah, that'd be my guess.
Transitioning.
Reggie?
Try Regina.
Transitioning to what?
Hopefully not a Jets fan.
Hey, pronoun. This bud's for you.
I can't drink. I'm not 21.
Y'all influenced my boy to cut off his junk, but draw the line at beer?
Y'all influenced my boy cut off his junk. I'm pretty sure that
now, okay, that beer remark. It is people like Norm and his boss and the right wing that were all supportive of raising the drinking age to 21 back in the 1980s, because it was the Reagan administration that pressured the various states to deny highway funds if they did not raise the drinking age to 21. I remember when that was going on, and I was really pissed because I was 17 in 1986, in September 1986, when the North Carolina legislature raised the drinking age to 21. So I was about ready to wait till 1987 to go and buy my first beer legally, and they took my rights away from me.
That's right. They sure
Yeah,
did.
I was pissed. But you know what's really weird? I was so happy, and when I graduated high school, I went to Puerto Rico that summer to visit my family, and the drinking age was still 18. So I was just like, and you know, my parents didn't care. It was 18. I mean, so I went there, and I drank legally in Puerto Rico because it, I don't know if it's still 18 now, but it was, it was 18, and I guess they weren't as strict in U.S. territories as they were with the states. But anyway, I just thought I'd share that right there. But Puerto Rico, you could still buy, back then you could still buy beer at the age of 18. Yeah. And if I ever run for political office, one of the things on my platform is to lower the drinking age back down to 18 across the board, across the entire country.
Okay. This cartoon, I just don't understand how they're finding these as jokes. It doesn't stick to me. It doesn't land, these jokes that this guy's making. Like, he's literally, this guy right here is blaming this random kid for his son's or his son or daughter's kids transitioning and blaming him for just doesn't, like, how is it this kid's fault of choosing not to have alcohol underage? How is it his fault that your kid transitioned? It makes no sense to me. Like, I don't understand how these jokes are landing for people. Is this like, I just can imagine like this conservative sitting in their fucking trailer park with their fucking donkey next to them or something, watching this show, laughing their ass off, pointing at the TV saying, "This is liberals, fucking libtards." Like, is this reality right now? This is insane to me.
Yeah, I mean, people really, I do really believe this is the projection that a lot of a lot of these right wing people tend to have, and and everything. And I've tried to explain this to somebody about my personal politics. I told them, I don't necessarily. I go around. I will tell people, I don't. I'll tell them when I say I'm part of the anti-woke left. What I mean by that is that I agree with what the quote unquote woke crowd wants. I don't agree with the cancel culture aspect of it, or the pro censorship aspect of it. That part I don't approve of, but I support their objectives, the anti-racism, the tolerance message, and and I was joking with one person years ago about it when we called the woke crowd SJWs. Remember that outdated term, social justice warrior?
Mm-hmm.
I said, it's really weird because I look, and this is when I was skinnier. I said, and I was dyeing my hair all the time. So it was like, I look like these social justice warriors that they talk about. And I'm not part of the pro censorship crowd and everything like that. And so I was joking about it and everything. And one of my coworkers who was a libertarian said, yeah, I know what you mean, because when I wear my hoodie, I look like I'm a member of Antifa.
I hate that the conservatives have made it a new norm that any good words like that has just bad connotations to it. Bleeding heart liberal, social justice warrior, words like that actually used to, if you take the literal term of those words, they actually are really, really, really good words to use as describing yourself as a human being to other human beings. But now it's just a norm. Like social justice warrior is a bad word. It has bad connotations. You're a pro censorship leftist if you're one of those now. It sucks. Like, I love those terms, and I really wish that we could have been able to use those for good instead of them turning those words into bad. And now we have to find other words. Like, I can't even use liberal anymore because liberal is a Democrat now. And I'm like, well, but we want to live liberally, don't we? Like, that shit, the way that they've ruined words for me, it's horrible.
Okay, I don't mind the word liberal in this context, as far as terminology. Old liberal, I mean, I told a friend of mine, yeah, I consider myself an equivalent to a 1960s, 1970s liberal, maybe even to a degree, 1980s liberal that was opposing Reagan, consistently. But somewhere along the lines, when Bill Clinton came along, they took that liberalism and made it kind of conservative and politically correct at the same time. And so
that's another good one. Soft Weekly, they took the word triggered too and turned it into a bad one.
Yeah,
that's true too. They just keep taking these words and ruining it for us. We have really, really, really decent good words, and they ruin it.
Well, the LGBTQ community taking the word queer and taking the word back and made it a positive term, and
term of endearment.
Yeah. Now I'm a little queasy about using the F word in that community because I remember growing up when that term was used in a harsh way. I mean,
yeah, you don't use that term to them. They to each other, they'll use the word gay. They'll be like, "That's so gay" or whatever. But the F word, no, you don't use that. Nope,
yeah,
nope.
I mean, I hear allies use the F word, but I just can't get myself to do it. I mean, because I'm like, when I hear it, I'm just like, again, when I hear some people and allies use it, and they're not using it in a way that's like negative toward the LGBTQ community, but they will use the F word. I'm like, ooh,
Right. Yeah, see, Hershey, it's so fucking true. What's like ironic is the conservatives have all these slang terms to try to upset opponents, but just this week that the word weird is like pretty much broken them beyond any comprehension. Like, all of a sudden everybody's talking about how JD Vance is fucking weird, and the conservatives are losing their shit. Like, we really got to dumb down our jokes just for them to get fucking triggered by it, because our jokes are too smart for these dudes. So we call them weird, and all of a sudden the conservatives are like, we're not weird. Like, yeah, you are. you're fucking weird. And if that's what it takes to trigger you, god damn, I should have been going with easier fucking low-hanging fruit jokes from the start.
Well, the only thing about JD Vance that I have to respect him on, and I don't like JD Vance, is when Nick Fuentes attacked him for this reason, for his wife. I mean, his wife is his wife who looks like Kashama Sawant. I mean, I was like, and Nick Fuentes is going to sit there and attack JD Vance for that. I mean, there's plenty of things you can attack JD Vance on, but attacking him for marrying a quote unquote a brown person, I mean,
Right.
that's just, I mean, you know,
Yep.
I tell you what it is. I mean, if Nick Fuentes is straight, he's jealous, and yeah, because he's an incel, and
Right.
if he's gay, maybe he wants to fuck JD Vance.
Right.
You know.
Maybe.
But anyway, let's go ahead and finish this, and we got plenty other material to work on. So sorry about that.
What's up, Joey? You changed your
No
name?
one can be influenced.
Yeah, that's Joey. That's the Yankee Tanky.
Yankee Tanky. Yeah, you changed your name now. Aw, you going to normal stuff?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he still do commentaries. He's just kind of you know, taking it easy for a while.
All right. Good to see you
Yeah.
back, Yankee. I missed you, bud.
Yeah, Yankee Tanky. He's a good guy. I like Yankee Tanky.
He's a sweetheart.
Once into that.
No, that's what happened.
I'm pretty
TJ,
sure,
don't you
dude.
know how the world works? TJ, obviously you don't.
You could spend forever trying to convince a bunch of cisgender dudes to be like, "Hey guys, you know what would probably really improve the quality of lives? Chop your fucking dicks off, man. Let's do it.
Just do it real fast. and
Let's do it.
You'll be real happy.
I mean, you know, I'm not saying it's impossible, but that's really fucking tough, especially just with like, we had a positive media depiction of a trans person.
Well, TJ,
Oh
obviously,
man, I probably should be trans too.
obviously you don't know how the world actually works because
He's angry that he can't get a minor drunk. Yeah, well, you know,
I mean it's conservative
Right.
media. Come on.
God
Right.
damn it, boy, or whatever you are.
Can't do this.
Yes, we can.
Find a way to break him. Maybe we can fix the country.
I just want normal beer.
You know there'll be jokes.
The when is that going to happen? I mean, I guess we identified a few things
I mean the beer
that
is
technically qualify as jokes.
yeah, beer
maybe.
says enough.
Does the taste of the beer change because they changed the color of the can?
The new norm, the first animated sitcom on X.
First and last.
Yeah,
He's like, I can't drink this. This beer's gonna turn me gay.
yeah, people just you know, yeah, the idea that there's some rainbows up there, it's just, I don't give a damn if there's some rainbows on a beer can. I'm personally, you know, and if you don't, you just scoot around and find a can that doesn't have one. If it's
Right? I
Yeah.
mean, he's old enough. Don't they have beer koozies at his age? Like, they still use beer koozies? Like,
Yeah.
you just cover it up with a beer koozie and he's good to fucking go.
The only thing I don't like in that argument, it makes me defend a corporation's decision. I don't like to defend corporations, but that's the only thing that will bother me about that argument of the framing. But as far as yeah, I don't think it's that big a deal one way or the other. But
No.
yeah,
That's just crazy.
But I tell you what's really funny about it is that, you know, when the right wing get mad at liberals for boycotting Chick-fil-A, you know, because the CEO said he thinks that gay people getting married is icky. You
Mhm.
know, it's just kind of like
But that's the difference between the left and the right. The right gets mad about something, like let's take Bud Light for example last year, and then they make videos and show that they're blowing it up, giving Bud Light more promotion. At least on the left, when we say we're tired of something or we don't want to support something, we just quietly boycott it. Like Starbucks. Like, I haven't touched a Starbucks in months, but you don't see me posting it all over online saying, look, I'm passing Starbucks and going to the tea leaf today. Like, you don't see that. We just do it quietly and then let the economy figure out what the fuck is happening because we're boycotting something. These motherfuckers just give their shit like free promo and stuff and free ads for the company that they're trying to. They do this shit the dumbest fucking way.
Yeah, they do, and that's their version of populism. When Governor DeSantis attacked Disney, that's their version of populism. Not attacking Disney for the right reasons, not paying people a living wage, you know, or not attacking a company for the way that they treat workers overall. That part, you know, that they don't want to address that, and so. Right. To the right wing, populism when it comes to corporate power means, you know, going after companies that they're woke, you know, or what, you know.
Right. I know after all that wokeness that Bud Light did last year and you guys boycotting it, what beer are you still drinking today, bro? I bet it's Bud Light.
It is. Yeah, it is.
Well, you need to buy a bunch of Starbucks and then shoot it with your murder weapon like a normal person. I know. I'm just not a true protester.
Seeing Kid Rock shooting the case of Budweiser. I mean, I'm just like, oh, how childish.
Oh yeah, I know these guys are nuts. Or like when they're out there protesting for like anti-vaxxing and anti-masking and shit. But then like the other day, I saw a video where this guy has like this huge cow catcher on the front of his truck. He calls it a protest remover or something like that. Like y'all want to sit there and say like you want to kill protesters and run protesters over, but when it's against what you guys don't like, you guys are out there protesting. No, the hypocrisy and the irony is thick, and it drives me insane because they don't see it.
Yeah, they only support the free speech they want to support, but don't want to support the free speech of the left, and the true left will support the free speech of the right, even if they hate the message of the right. I mean, you know,
because it's about the message, it's about the issues. It's not the golden calf we're worshiping. It's the people's livelihoods that we care about.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Yep. And I'm gonna play just the little rolling credits here, and then we'll get to the next issue. So
you got it.
Yeah.
I don't know when. Smoke nice Maryland, thank God for you.
Ronald McDonald? I mean, Elon?
Oh, dude.
Why does Elon look like Ronald McDonald without the fucking makeup?
Yeah, dude, he does. You called it. What the he does?
Why like
he does look like Ronald McDonald. I can't, bro.
He does. So Elon funded this clearly.
This is the home for free speech.
It's in the home of free speech. Well, you know, if this is what you do with free speech, then nah. I changed my mind. Don't want it.
Oh, really? Have free speech? Well, I can tell I want Elon personally. Like, hey, Elon, I want to wipe my ass with the show and you. How about that? Will you still allow me on your platform after I say that?
Hey, I almost forgot. We're going to Disney World.
Make America funny again.
Wait, what? Oh, wait. That's
anyway. That's the thing about right-wing humor. Right-wing humor is not funny. I mean, it really is not funny at all.
Not at all.
Yeah. So it's just crazy. So let's see here. Shall we go with I guess we should go with the next story here. We could go we'll go with your story next.
Okay. The boxer we were talking about advanced to the gold medal match today. Hell yeah. I'm all for it. Good for her. I'm so excited she's made it. That shit was great. Like fucking girl like almost pretty much was saying that she was a man because she got her fucking rocks knocked out so hard. Like, nah, bitch, that's a bitch that just knows how to fucking punch. I want her on my side.
Exactly. We'll go with the
That's good though.
Yeah.
And you know what's so funny too about that whole like really quick situation right there? You notice that the girl that they're saying was, you know, a man because she punched so hard got more fucking news coverage than an Olympic person be like raping kids in like a country during the Olympics. Like, it's crazy. Like, transgenderism is getting more news than harming
Yeah.
children.
And she doesn't look like a. I don't think she looks like a man per se. I mean,
Yeah, people need to shut up because without makeup, I look like a man. So people need to shut the fuck up. Come the fuck on. Some of you men look like fucking girls. Get the fuck over it.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, to me, it's just something to make a conspiracy theory about.
Yeah.
I remember
you guys with pretty long eyelashes are going to start chopping your eyelashes off because they're pretty and long and girly and you look like girls with pretty eyelashes. Are you guys with long hair going to start cutting off your hair because you guys with long hair look pretty with long hair? Get the fuck over yourselves. It's so stupid. You look like a man. Shut up.
You remember I told you I had this medical condition where I had to have my. Remember I told you I had larger breasts when I was growing up.
Wait, say that again.
Remember I told you one time I had larger breasts when I was growing up. I had them surgically reduced. Remember I told you about that?
No.
Oh, I thought I told you about that. Yeah. I did. And back then my late teens and early 20s, I was kind of, I was very thin and in good shape back then, and I had a nice thick head of hair and all of that, and I had the breasts and all that. I almost looked like a cute girl with short hair back then with the yeah.
Hey, yeah. I wish you would have told me back then. I would have been like, give me some of those. I will take your boobs. I need them.
Yeah.
I have none.
Yeah, they got the surgery done in 1990, and it was funny. They put that fluid in me, and like 3 seconds later, I woke up. It seemed like it took me about 2 days to get myself back to normal. I was like queasy and sick over that, but I'm okay over it now. But suffice to say, but that was just I forgot what they call that condition. But it was kind of embarrassing growing up with that condition.
Right. The irony right there too. Like I couldn't even imagine what conservatives would be telling you if they've heard that about you. It's ridiculous because like you needed it for, so you could feel more like the man that you are. You had that done. So what would conservatives say? Like you're a woman because you had breasts? Like that's the shit. Like stop worrying about people's private parts. It's just absolutely ridiculous. It drives me absolutely insane.
Yeah, so
Rick, I got long hair and long eyelashes. What am I then? You are a girl, Rick. Officially. Hell yeah, sister.
All right, I guess we'll get started with the story here. So the English riots.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Keir Starmer, who's been in office just a month, has promised to crack down on groups of what he called right-wing thugs who've ignited a week of racist, anti-immigrant riots in towns and cities across England. Nearly 400 people have been arrested in the past few days, and more arrests are expected. From England, special correspondent Malcolm Brabant reports.
These are just some of the social media videos that detectives are trawling through to identify and prosecute perpetrators participating in and stoking Britain's worst riots since 2011. They're in there. After days of unrest, the crisis deteriorated over the weekend when a mob attacked a hotel housing asylum seekers in the northern city of Rotherham. The government minister responsible for law and order is Home Secretary Yvette Cooper.
It's a total disgrace and there has to be a reckoning. Those individuals who are involved in the disorder need to know that they will pay a price.
After forcing police to retreat, some of the mob tried to set fire to the hotel, full of people of colour. Prime Minister Keir Starmer.
If you target people because of the colour of their skin or their faith, then that is far right. and I'm prepared to say so.
Tats are awesome, man.
Look at this
Kill
guy,
the British.
swastika.
Yes, mate.
Yeah.
The man with the Nazi swastika tattoo replied that he was a true Englishman amid an expletive-filled rant against foreigners. Inaccurate social media
All
posts
those guys
triggered
are
violence
just
across
like
the
him.
country last.
Oh, what's that now?
All those guys right there. They're just like that. Oh, wait, was that me or is that? Please tell me that's not me. Oh my gosh, we lost him. So yeah, that guy right there looked like freaking like all the rest of those guys. They're all racist. He left me and now I'm here by myself and I'm only a guest in StreamYard, so I can't do anything except sit here and talk. Yeah. We did lose Willie. I know. He should be back any second, though. I feel so weird sitting here by myself, especially if I can't mess with anything. Like, I'm literally sitting in this thing as a guest right now. I can't do shit. But yeah, so before Willie comes back. So those people were protesting because they had misheard. So I guess sometime last week, there was this dance class, like a Taylor Swift dance class thing for, and 3 little kids stabbed to death. And so they automatically, these guys that went and protested heard that it was an immigrant. So that's when they went and burned up, like try to burn down that building with people of color in it. Apparently those were like housing for immigrants or shelter, things like that. So they, by obviously being misled and misunderstanding, they went and did all that, saying like immigrants need to stop coming to this country, but racist, obviously racist, nationalistic bullcrap. So they did all of that without finally realizing that actually, I mean, even though, yes, this kid that did the stabbings was a kid of color, he was a natural born citizen. He was born in the UK. So the whole immigrant thing, absolutely ridiculous. I know that his parents, I guess, were from Uganda. So, and I heard that the kid had autism as well. So yeah, it's crazy. Like, this family, obviously they were fleeing apartheid and coming here. And so, I mean, we don't know what the MO of I don't even know yet what the MO of the kid is, but oh, there you are. Welcome back. I was talking about
my connection, my internet connection. I am so sorry about that.
No, you're good. I was talking about explaining the video of the protest, of why they were protesting and stuff. So when you came back, we can just continue if you want.
Okay, we're gonna go back to that and continue it. Okay, we'll start at the beginning. Yeah.
Good to see you, Desert Mantis.
Yeah. Actually, when I paused it for a second, that's when we lost the connection.
Okay.
I think that's when we. I think
you can go ahead and start it from right there. It's fine.
All right.
Last week, after these 3 girls were stabbed to death at a dance class in Southport in northwest England. 17-year-old Axel Rudakubana, British-born son of Rwandan parents with a history of autism, has been charged with 3 counts of murder and 10 of attempted murder. The supposed motive for the riots has now pivoted to anger over the impact of mass immigration. Keir Starmer again.
This is violence. It is not protest. It doesn't matter what the motivation is. The motivation for the vast majority of people in this country is to see their streets safe.
Big problem, yeah.
As asylum seekers cowered inside the wrecked hotel in Rotherham, 70 miles to the south in the city of Tamworth, a similar migrant shelter came under attack from would-be arsonists.
There will be people who were thinking they were going on their summer holidays this week, and instead they will face a knock on the door from the police. They will face arrest and a prison cell.
Please open the door!
So far, there have been hundreds of arrests, but there are warnings that the government may struggle to deliver swift justice.
The situation in the criminal justice system in England and Wales is really dire at the moment.
Cassia Rowland is a criminal justice specialist with Britain's Institute of Government.
We are out of prison capacity. We're already releasing people early. We've got major backlogs in the courts. So I think it is a really difficult thing for them to do, to try and fast track that in that way.
Britain's 4 million strong Muslim community is concerned about being targeted by the mobs. In some cities, young Muslim men have turned out in force to counter-protest. In an attempt to head off racial clashes, the government has pledged to protect the nation's 1,500 mosques. But is it enough?
If the police can't cope, then maybe you need to look at the other option of bringing the army in. That's not going to be a great look for the United Kingdom, and I don't want that to happen. But ultimately, we've got to maintain law and order. You cannot have anarchy on our streets.
Shafak Mohammed is a former member of the European Parliament and a councillor for a district next to Rotherham.
Do you think social cohesion in Britain is breaking down?
What I don't want is for people to live parallel lives where we never talk to each other, we never interact with each other. And that fosters, mistrust between different communities.
Apparently unperturbed by the government crackdown, one right-wing channel on the Telegram messaging service is trying to coordinate attacks against pro-immigration lawyers and other asylum centres. Restoring public order has become the new Labour government's most serious challenge. At stake is Britain's future as a cohesive, multicultural society. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Malcolm Brabant.
So yeah, interesting to see. Everywhere else is just like America. We've got closed-minded racist reactionists, white conservative racist reactionists who go and do stupid shit because of misinformation.
Yeah, I'm thinking of the days of Enoch Powell, who tried to I don't know if you ever heard of Enoch Powell, but yeah, he's he's a British politician. He was always trying to race bait and everything, and yeah, he was always talking. Trying to talk about ushering some kind of racial apocalypse in the UK, and that's what I think about when in that situation. And so there are movements there like the British National Party, which used to be the National Front, and they're trying to and they're like the fourth largest party, I think, in the UK, and I think they got some seats in city councils across the country, but no parliamentary presence. And they preach anti-immigrant message, but they sort of did what the lady in France, Jean Le Pen's, have done. They did a makeover, but they are still a little harsher than her message. But still just the same. It's still the same old racism and anti-immigrant mindset and all of that. And when you have bad economic conditions, and I call it capitalism, and capitalism is doing what it likes to do, it ends up breeding a lot of contempt. And I'm not going to say that socialism would end racism, but I think that it would actually do a lot to alleviate a lot of racial tensions. And this is why our two-party system don't want any reforms that's needed to help working people, because the culture war will take away hot button issues that helps these assholes from both parties get elected.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, of course, I'm going to be called a class reductionist for saying these things, but that's the case there.
Yep, I know. And then you got fucking Elon yesterday or this week going off saying that civil war is inevitable, having to deal with the video that we just watched too. So you got Elon over there stoking some flames as well, trying to start some shit.
Yeah,
glad.
It just perplexes me to see people admiring Elon Musk. He's such a fucking asshole. I know.
I know. I don't understand. It really breaks my heart to know that he's gonna go down in history books as like an inventor and all this shit when he was nothing but a fucking piece of shit.
Exactly, and there are people out there like we should go and admire this man, and you know, and people out there are under this notion that Twitter actually protects free speech now, and actually I think that there's less free speech on Twitter now than there was previously, and and I do think that under the previous regime there was a lot of free speech restrictions. I mean, I do think there was a lot of censorship under the old Twitter, but I think that there's a lot of censorship now.
Yep, I agree. There is.
Yeah, but
I think the only free, real, like, I mean, freest at least social media site we have or at least had was TikTok. TikTok was starting to get up to that, really good stuff. You're really finding and seeing shit that you normally wouldn't, and they're taking that away from us too. So
yeah, it's ironic that the big free speech platform in America right now was from a scary Chinese communist.
right.
Yeah.
I'm hoping the mentality will change from what I heard this morning with Kamala Harris's new VP pick. Waltz is his name.
Tim Waltz.
Yeah, he was a teacher in China for a really long time, or for a while, or a year or something like that. So, and he's also said that he has no quarrels with China whatsoever. So, maybe if Kamala wins and this guy's our VP, maybe we won't have a problem with China anymore.
I'm not going to support Kamala Harris because she's too conservative for me.
Right.
However, I'm going to temporarily acknowledge that she made a wise choice with Tim Waltz.
I'm shocked.
I mean, I'm shocked, pleasantly shocked. I thought she was going to use the asshole Governor Shapiro from Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Because just I figured she was going to choose him for two reasons, and one being that Pennsylvania, I think, is probably a toss-up state, which that would make sense from that tactical point of view. You need Pennsylvania, you need Ohio, you need Michigan, you need Wisconsin, you need those Rust Belt states. They're crucial, and in that regard, that would make tactical sense. And in that regard, I mean, I'm not, I can understand that, but his position on Israel is his position. It's not like I'm not going to say, oh, he supports the two states. And I'm not going there. I'm just saying he's like harsh to Kamala Harris's right on Israel. So I figured that's what they're going to go with to have him as insurance, so the Republicans can't throw at the Democrats. Oh, y'all just turn your back on Israel. Y'all are anti-Semitic. I figured that's what they were going to do in terms of choosing Josh Shapiro. In fact, I was like 90% sure that was who they were going to choose. I was like, there's no way they're going to choose Tim Waltz, because that would be them using their common sense, because they need the left. And I think that they realize that they need the left, but it's a little bit too late. That's the problem with Tim Waltz. It's a little too late. And he's the best governor of all the 50 states that's out there.
Right.
They took the 1-seat majority in the legislature, and they have done some awesome things that the squad should be doing in Congress. So
Waltz is against BDS. Good to know. That's good to know.
That is good to know. That's another feather in his cap there.
Right. And I'm not here to say like one is more evil than the other, but I mean, I got to admit, at least Waltz and Kamala Harris has never had Bibi Netanyahu sleep in their bed to stay the night for the weekend, which Trump has, and so is Jared Kushner. So, that's been my biggest thing, is if Trump wins, I'm really scared of what happens to the West Bank and Palestine. It's something that I've been very adamant about for years. It's just so scary to see.
You know what's really weird about that? Glenn Beck was actually worried that Trump in 2016 if he was going to win, would turn his back on Israel.
Right? Yeah. No, not
because
even. I knew it wouldn't have happened when everybody
I
was
mean,
claiming that too. I was like, yo, he literally, Bibi Netanyahu stayed the night in Jared Kushner's bed. Like, are you kidding me right now? Yeah, and then like the whole Abraham Accords and then Jerusalem, putting the headquarters in there. Like, yeah, no, I'm so worried if Trump wins. I'm terrified.
well, that Project 2025 is
Scary.
pretty bad, but but that's not catered necessarily for Trump. That's catered for any Republican
Any.
president that comes along. And
Right.
honestly, we've been dealing with some kind of form of 2025 since Reagan been elected under both Democrats and Republicans. I mean,
Right. Well, I think that's how long they've been building this and writing this and working on it. So they've been playing, the Republicans and conservatives have been playing the long game with this.
yeah. And it's like what our friend Joey said here. Nothing will fundamentally change. And you know what? Joe Biden kept that promise.
Yep. Walt sent the National Guard on George Floyd protesters. Okay, that's not good either.
That's not good. That's definitely.
I heard he did like medical, like healthcare, food for like school lunches. Like I heard he did like
universal school lunches.
yeah, like good little social programs too, though. So
Yeah.
but that
Yeah,
sucks.
as I say, he basically turned Minnesota into a de facto Canadian province minus the Medicare for all. And I think that they would do Medicare. I think that they have the stones to do Medicare for all, but having to take on the insurance and pharmaceutical industries and everything, I think is a tall order. So because I mean they tried in Vermont, and I do believe that they were trying in Vermont, but it failed because the powerful insurance companies and pharmaceuticals, which needs to be taken down. I mean,
they do.
Honestly, I mean, and I mean profoundly, they need to be taken down. I mean, they need to be removed from the profit motive altogether. I mean, if you want to use a Western model, a Western capitalist nation model, do the UK NHS, like that's the most socialized medical system in the Western world. Do that model, or you do the Cuban model, which is roughly the same system. So
right.
I mean, just kind of like that's the system I would use.
Right.
Socialized medicine, 100% all the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think we should do it. We should. I like it's really hard for a state to start getting like free healthcare for its state because a state itself, like Vermont, doesn't create its own currency. Only a country, like a full national country does. So like America creates its own currency, but like California, or like when we had the Red Berets, Washington people, like if there's a state in America that knows that it could, with how the healthcare system is now, knows that they could fund for their entire state everybody that needs healthcare for like a year just to test it out, that'll give enough. I mean, even for a year or two, that'll give the rest of the people of all the rest of the states enough in their head to see, like, actually, because they can fund this and they're doing it through, like, they're trying this new universal healthcare statewide, it's actually costing them less in this state than it would for the same things in another state that doesn't have it. I always felt like if we did it state by state, it could have worked. It could have shown the rest of the country that universal healthcare is actually cheaper than what we're paying for right now. And here's the state that proves it, which is a state that can't create their own currency. They need tax dollars to be able to fund for this stuff. So if we're a country that can create its own currency, we don't need tax money to fund for this stuff, then to me, in my head, it seems logical. A state that can't do that proves that they can do it for cheaper than what the country's doing without it. That should give enough for the rest of the country to be like, okay, it works, let's fucking do it. But we don't want to do that. We're like so anti any of that, like the whole Red Beret and that big old fight with all the national versus state. This shit was wild to me. It's like, it could work. It could fucking work. You don't even nobody wants to even give it a chance. It's like either go big or go home in America. It's like either the whole country has to get it or nobody can get it. I'm sorry. That's how it works. And it's totally unfair. It's not fair.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, to me, I just associate medical care for everybody, national health care, some form of single payer, whether it's done the UK way, the Canadian way, or some hybrid system like it's done in Germany, whichever way's done, as common sense. And what? Oh,
For real, common sense.
yeah, it's common
That's it.
sense. Yeah,
Mhm.
and the system is it's so fucked. I mean,
It
it's
is.
not just. Now, I don't think that people who are opposed to it are evil, but the system itself, based on profit, is evil. Because I think that the people who are opposed to it don't understand. They can't conceptualize the evil that is. I mean, and they'll give me the argument that universal health care is unconstitutional, and I call bullshit on that. It violates the 8th Amendment, cruel and unusual punishment on the basis that you can't afford it. And actually, the 13th Amendment that forbids slavery. You're tied to a job you hate because you're fearful you'll lose your health coverage.
Yep.
Yeah.
That seems. Yep, you're right about that.
Yeah.
What's up, Warren? You go big and go home.
Yeah. Hey, Warren, how are you doing?
Good to see ya.
Yeah. So,
Not having healthcare is unconstitutional. I agree.
Yeah, it should be, and there should be a constitutional amendment to guarantee health care for everyone. I'm in total 100% favor of it.
Yep. I agree.
There is. I guess we should go with the next video. And I think that probably, let's see here. Let's see, which one should we go with? Let's see. All right, let's see.
Sherry, Miss Sherry. Hi, Miss Sherry.
Even though I'm going to play the Young Turks, Anna Kasparian is going against somebody that's worse than her, and that's Alan Dershowitz. So let me go ahead and get that set up here. Give me a second, and we'll get it set up. Okay. And it's over, of course, that thorny issue of Israel.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is Kamala Harris talking. This is everybody in America who is responsible, rather than your bigoted guest.
And honestly, I am not surprised at all that you don't care about the children that are being slaughtered in Gaza. Because your history does indicate that you don't care too much about children, right?
Well, my debate with Alan Dershowitz on Chris Cuomo's show went really well, actually.
I thought it went well. That last line was a killer. Okay. So I watched it, of course, and the reason Anna's voice is raised there in that clip is because Dershowitz would not stop talking.
Mm-hmm.
So he does his usual smears. We're all anti-Semites. I know you're shocked. Okay, like, oh, and Dershowitz accused someone of being an anti-Semite because they weren't a vicious right-wing Israeli who wants to kill as many Palestinians as humanly possible. Wow, color me surprised, right? So, but that's not the main issue. I've dealt with guys like that 100 times, including Dershowitz on News Nation once. But this is a classic right-wing trick. They just filibuster.
Yeah.
And that's why you'll see me sometimes yell in debates or talk over the other guy. Because I'm like, look, if you're gonna talk over me and you're gonna try to monopolize the time, well, I'll make it even. We'll both talk at the same time, see how you like them apples. Because I'm not gonna get steamrolled. I've seen Democrats and people on the left get steamrolled for a quarter of a century on television. But Anna handled it better. I thought that your jabs at him were perfect. You were more composed than I would have been.
Well, that's for sure, that last part. But,
yes.
But I have to say, it was challenging because how do you sit there and calmly respond to someone who's smearing you as a bigot? So let's actually get into the context. Obviously, this debate was about the protests surrounding Benjamin Netanyahu's visit to the United States. He's addressing a joint session of Congress. Understandably, there are protests against him because of the war crimes that are being committed in Gaza. And so that is the heart of the discussion. So why don't we go to the context that led up to the name calling?
Benjamin Netanyahu gave a great speech to the American public and to the world. And he had some very good points about the protesters. You know, the protesters are calling for a ceasefire. Israel has accepted the ceasefire. Egypt has accepted it. Qatar has accepted it. The United States has accepted it. Both Biden and Blinken have said the only thing that stands between a ceasefire is Hamas. So why?
That's not true. That's not true. They have. I mean, Israel is the one that keeps attacking and attacking and attacking and attacking, and I don't know what the hell he's gotten that from. I mean, that's where I'm hearing the attacks is going on, and and they're not going after Hamas. They're going after the population in Gaza. Yeah.
I forgot I was muted because my cat was all rubbing up on my headphones. Sorry. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. He's just re-saying the Israeli victim talking points that they've been saying. So,
and you know what's so sad about Alan Dershowitz? You know what's so sad about Alan Dershowitz?
What?
Alan Dershowitz used to be on the left years ago.
Yeah. Isn't he Jeffrey Epstein's lawyer?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's
Not a good
anybody's
guy.
lawyer. I mean, for the right price. But no, he used to actually be on the left. I mean, he used to be. I mean, he's not like he's not like Marjorie Taylor Greene style right wing, but he used to be. He used to be 9/11 wrecked his brain, because since 9/11, I mean, his positions on has turned right wing. I mean, he favors enhanced interrogations. I mean, it's like torture. I mean, and he said he was on the fence about the Iraq War at one time, and then he said he ended up being 51% against the Iraq War, 49% for it, which meant that he was for the Iraq War. That was his way of saying that. And then he goes on Fox News punching left. And I remember when the right wing used to vilify him, and now he's like I mean, I believe he'll probably vote for Kamala Harris in 2024. He voted for Hillary Clinton in 2016 and voted for Joe Biden in 2020. He's still a Democrat, but he pretty much goes with the Fox News narrative on most issues, which is why he's on Fox News all the time, defending their atrocious positions on just about everything. Right. So, anyway, I hate to defend Anna Kasparian because, the Young Turks have gone downhill for so many years, but on this one, I'll have to defend her. Because, I mean, he's wrong on this issue, and she is correct on this issue. So I guess we'll continue.
Why aren't these protesters protesting Hamas? I support the Palestinian people. And I think if you support the Palestinian people and you ultimately want to see a two-state solution, you have to get rid of Hamas.
Let me just...
Oh, I want to point that out. Hamas, he needs to realize that Benjamin Netanyahu supports Hamas, because the Mossad was the one that funded Hamas years ago to undermine the influence of the PLO, which used to orbit around the Soviets when the Soviet Union existed. And that's how come Hamas became legitimized. It was because the Israeli Mossad went and funded Hamas and nurtured it and groomed it and gave an alternative of fundamentalism versus secular leftism. And unfortunately, that's the situation. I don't support Hamas any more than I support Israel, but Hamas is a product of Israel. I mean, they're doing the Zionist bidding as far as I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
And even Joey said it right here too. They literally assassinated the guy that was in Hamas that was doing peace talks in Iran. So they can't sit here and claim this shit now. Like, there's just too many lies that you guys are saying by we can't stop, fighting them until Hamas is done. I'm sorry, but like we've all been saying for almost a year now too, Hamas is an ideology as well. It's not just a group of people. I just read or saw something just this week that Hamas is actually, because of this sort of down point right now, they're recruiting, they're getting more people. And we've been saying, a lot of us have been saying this, you keep putting people down and blowing up their families and blowing up their homes and making them have to move from here to here to here while all still with the fear of being blown up, they're going to want to rebel. Now Hamas cannot be seen anymore as some terrorist organization. Now they get to be seen as rebels, as like this, you know, justice of fallen people, you know, of people, oppressed people, just like, you know, in Yemen, the Houthi rebels. Like, you can't sit here and call these people bad now because of an ideology that you have created and you have fueled the flame of the fire for.
Israel, in its own way, put them on the table, put a seat on their table, whether they realize it or not. Israel actually, even though they're bombing the shit out of them, Israel gave them a chair and put them on the table in the eyes of the world. So Israel, I'm telling you, I think that in about a decade, by the year 2035, there will not be a state of Israel.
I hope not.
That's what's going to happen, and
you're very optimistic.
they're better negotiate, because if they don't negotiate, there's going to be bloodshed on all sides, you know. So they better either work for a 2-state solution or a 1-state solution that's beneficial for everybody.
Yep.
And because you know, again, you know, once Israel is violently destroyed, is you know, I mean, it's going to be bad for the Palestinians. It's going to be bad for the Israelis. It's going to be bad for everybody.
I know.
Netanyahu is going to be the cause of it. So
I know. Yeah. Take my biases out of everything and just put it in this whole situation into a historical perspective. You literally put a bunch of white people in a small little country and inside of an entire continent that used to be known as the Ottoman Empire. You're telling me that this tiny ass little country right here, conjoined with the entire Arab Empire, you're gonna win this? These motherfuckers have been around since before you were even a twinkle, before white was even a thing, before white and blacks were separated. The Ottoman, these people used to have computers before like, white people say we invented so much new shit, but if you just look back in history, like thousands of years before, Egypt had so much of this stuff already before we did, and we just say white man. You cannot sit here and tell me that an existence of people that have been around for thousands of fucking years and have made empires is going to lose to a couple of small little white countries of people who have colonized 200 years ago. Fuck out of here with this shit. It's the Ottoman Empire that's out there. Those motherfuckers invented the computer. Like, don't sit here and tell me you're going to erase them. They've been here before you were ever around. That's insane to me.
What needed to be done after World War II, and I've always said this, what needed to be done after World War II.
Ottoman Empire. Sorry, Desert Mantis said, whoever heard of an empire of footrest? Because I said Ottoman Empire.
Oh my God. Yeah. What needed to be done after World War II, as reparations for the suffering of the Holocaust, was to not stick Jewish people in Palestine. You know, unless they were willing to live there with the Palestinian population, you know, in that area, and be, you know, the peaceful coexistence, that's fine. But if they wanted a state for themselves, what they needed to do, the Soviets, the British, the Americans, and the French in occupied Germany, what they needed to do was take what was East Prussia, which is now northern Poland, and, you know, as a punishment against the Germans for what they did to the Jewish people, give that what was East Prussia, make that a Jewish state, and let it be a European country. That would have probably been a better solution than sticking it over there in the Middle East.
Well, I don't understand why the Jewish community needed to leave Germany as it was. Like, Hitler was killed, the Nazis had been defeated. What better way to stick it to the man who fucking oppressed you and murdered your family by taking back the land that he did that on? Like, leaving them in Germany would have been fine.
I guess basically because everywhere they went in Europe, they were chased out, and for centuries. And I think that might have had something to do with it. And it's unfortunate. Zionism.
But the Christians have been doing that to fucking witches for hundreds of years, and you don't see us going out to fucking Sweden and claiming territory in fucking Ireland or something, saying this is Celtic territory, it's ours.
That's a good point. That's actually a good point. That is actually a good point. But yeah, I mean, Zionism is a byproduct of what the right wing has done to Jewish people over the centuries. So as the ideology developed as a reaction, and that's unfortunate. And so that's ultimately who we need to blame, were the people, the right wing in Europe, and that in the West, that actually made life so shitty for Jewish people in the West that unfortunately someone like Theodore Herzl came up with this idea of a homeland, when maybe what could have been done is to fight in your area for your equality and your freedom too. Yeah,
absolutely.
So,
maybe you should. Fucking Joey, maybe I will go to Ireland. Okay, maybe I will go to Sweden and claim some land out there and become a fucking forest nymph witch. All right.
Oh, Ireland is a beautiful place, by the way. Ireland is beautiful.
It's beautiful. Yeah, absolutely.
I love Ireland. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Never been there. Pictures, beautiful. I've seen pictures.
It's wonderful. I highly recommend the trip. It's not that expensive compared to England.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
Britain is expensive, but
I bet.
if you're in Ireland, I mean, the food is pretty reasonably priced, and the people are friendly, and you got beautiful scenery. So
yeah.
I guess we'll continue with the video here.
Just start off by saying that I'm American, a proud American who loves my fellow Americans regardless of what their political views are. And I find it absolutely deplorable that a leader of a foreign country would come onto American soil and smear the entirety of the pro-peace, pro-ceasefire protesters based on a few outliers who might engage in behavior that I myself disagree with. We need to call a spade a spade. That speech was full of lies and defamatory comments about our people, about American citizens, and I will not stand for it.
He didn't like that. Dershowitz didn't like that. So that was what eventually led to the allegations that I'm a bigot. I'm a bigot because I don't enjoy and I don't like foreign leaders coming to American soil to defame Americans exercising their First Amendment right.
Yeah, look, again, him calling people anti-Semitic and bigoted, and he used the word anti-Semite later. Of course, he can't ever do an appearance without using the word. I'm amused by it at this point because it's so ubiquitous, it's so worn out, it's so useless, and doesn't work at all anymore. And I have an easy answer for that. No, you're a bigot and a racist against Muslims. You don't value Palestinian lives, Muslim lives at all.
And that's a very fair point. I hate to agree with Shank on that, but that's a very fair point. It's kind of like if you criticize Israel, you're an anti-Semite, you're a bigot, or what have you. When there's a lot of folks that are protesting that they are Jewish. Some of them even support Israel. They just don't like the asshole and the government that's elected at the moment doing these shitty things. And why is it okay to hate Muslims and to hate the Arabs and all of that? Why is it okay to do that? But if you go and say, maybe Netanyahu's policies are kind of inhumane. Oh, you hate Israel? You hate Jewish people or something? It's like, it pisses me off when they do that. That's that allegation.
Right, but they'll sit there. Israelis will call Palestinians Arabs as if they're not Palestinians from the country of Palestine, or just like we saw with those protests in the UK, talking about them saying brown people need to get out of here, go back to your country. Like, you're going to sit here and call us anti-Semitic because your country is oppressing an entire people that live there, but you're going to go around and say Arabs and brown people as if that's not racist and you can get away with it. What, because you're Jewish? That where's the accountability there? Why is the hypocrisy and the irony allowed to just like flow through in front of everyone's faces with no accountability whatsoever?
Yeah, I mean, thing about it is, and some of the people in America, and we're talking about Christians. We're not talking about Jewish people, because actually, I think Christian Zionism is actually the most toxic form of it. Because you can almost understand a Jewish person who may have the ideology for believing that way, but a Christian Zionist, their view is bad for everybody.
Yeah,
for human civilization, it's bad for everybody. Yep. They want everybody. They want Iran and Israel to toss nukes at each other. I mean, because they really want to see what they
the second coming of God.
Yeah, they really, and they don't care if the whole world perish as a result.
Yep. They're literally going to start like a world war with nukes and everything just so they can pretend that they're going to visit their sky daddy.
Yeah, and this is part of the reason why I consider George W. Bush as one of the worst presidents we ever had. As much problems as I have, as much problems I had with Democrat presidents, as much problems I had with Trump. The Bush doctrine, and I don't understand the religious right loving Trump. They ought to love Bush and Cheney because their foreign policy is more in sync with what Bush and Cheney wanted in the world. Because even though they're not religious fanatics themselves, their aims would have resulted in what the evangelicals want, and that is, World War III between Iran and Israel starting. And
right.
And I do think that they kind of laid the foundation for this. And for all the talk I hear about America first, America first, America first, I'm tired of all these wars, and we got rid of the neocons, and they're all in the Democrat Party. Some of them did go to the Democratic Party. The ones that didn't hate the gays went to the Democratic Party. Yeah, right. But the ones that still hate the gays remain Republican. And when the issue of Israel comes up, I mean, that Bush Cheney doctrine mindset comes back, and they want to go nuke the Middle East.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's what it comes down to.
Yep. It's all to invoke their apocalypse, second coming of God thing, that the Revelations, man, that's all they want it to happen, and they're gonna make it happen. And it's crazy how many people they're gonna kill just so their little magic trick will work. It seems like it's a fucking magic trick.
And I'll tell you another funny part about this is the identity politics, because for all this talk about identity politics, they like to beat up on the left. Oh, y'all just hung up on race, and y'all just hung up on sexuality issues, what have you. As soon as you criticize Israel, then they sound like the most obnoxious social justice warrior caricature you can ever imagine, except they don't really give a damn about Jewish people, because they want to force them to pray in school to their Christian concept of God.
Well, they're just pawns in this bigger scheme of, like I was saying, the whole Revelations and the second coming of God. They are the Jewish people to the Christians are the pawns, because them and the Muslims need to fight so that God will come down and start the 1,000-year reign, or devil will come down and start the 1,000-year reign. So to them, like, they'll say that the Israel and the Jewish community is one of them, and they are us and we are them, and we're all sons of Abraham and we're all in one. But it's just a pawns, because in Revelations, I think 2/3 of the Jewish community is supposed to die during that, and then the 1/3 of the Jewish are supposed to change over to Christianity so that they can live. So
it's an anti-Semitic view when you think about it.
Exactly.
And strangely enough, Christians and Muslims have more in common theologically than Jewish people do. I mean, Muslims have a higher regard for Jesus than Jewish people do.
I know.
And
I
that's not. I'm not criticizing. I'm not criticizing Jewish people. I'm not criticizing Christians. I'm not criticizing Muslims. I'm not criticizing anybody. They have their right to have their concept of whatever works for them. I'm just saying.
Right. And we have the right to analyze their concepts.
Yeah,
And compare them.
That's right. But the truth is the truth. You know. I mean.
Right.
So yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm not saying. I'm saying, you know, I don't want to have it construed in the wrong way, is what I'm saying there. And
Right.
But yeah, I mean, they do. I mean, they see Jesus as a prophet. They don't see him as they don't see him as the Son of God. Well,
yeah,
the Son of God. He's God, and he is the Son.
And the Son and the Holy Spirit. Yeah.
Yeah.
That little threesome.
Yeah, I remember what my priest said years ago. He did Trinity Sunday. He said, "I called this my why bother sermon."
What?
Referring to the Trinity.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
that's so funny.
Anyway, but that's this whole thing is, you know, I just been on edge since. With what's going on in Russia, Ukraine, and what's going on with Taiwan, and what's going on with Gaza and Israel, and now with Iran going on, you know, there may be a war going on between Israel and Iran at any moment. I'm like, is this it? You know, I'm just like, we gotta have some sanity.
But at the same time, too, you have to remind yourself, like 2-3 years ago, we were literally thinking like this with North Korea. We thought North Korea was going to nuke us. It's like every year around this time, we come up with some new threat of World War III. Every fucking year around this same time. So yeah, of course, it's like it sucks. Every fucking year, I have to be worried about World War III because of the decisions that our government is making. But at the same time, it's like, how many years do I have to keep fearing that we're going to World War III when I just say this shit's not going to happen? It's really, I don't really think it's going to happen because they keep throwing it out there every year.
Well, here's another aspect to this is like when Russia invaded Ukraine, when the whole thing, that's whole conflicts happened. It's going to soon be 3 years. Damn. But yeah, when that started to happen, I was telling some friends of mine that it's like the whole idea I started to have memories resurface from the times I was growing up of what life was like in the Cold War, being worried daily or several times a week. Is this fucking it? It could be, you know, because you'll watch the news and you'll hear about the United States and the Soviets getting mad at each other. And it just kind of like, or, you know, and the tensions will be, you know, they'll be focusing on this hot spot in the world or that hot spot in the world and what it could lead to. And, you know, we'll be worried that with the arms built up on both sides, and especially with the nukes, that at any time they could say, let's start launching those nukes at each other. And this is it, you know?
Right.
And I've had those old memories and the anxiety that I used to experience that finally faded away in the 1990s, that I almost forgot what it was like to feel that feeling. It came back. It came back after, 30 some years. It just came back.
Jeez, that's ridiculous.
So I'm hoping that I'm hoping that we're not in World War III, that this, no, Cold War is still not ideal, but the stalemate. It looks like we're gonna have a stalemate bipolar world at this point with Russia and the United States, and they're going to look at all these other countries, and it's going to be pawns in there. Maybe a multipolar world because China's in this scenario, but still probably a bipolar world because Russia and China are on each other's side, and so I don't know. I don't know. going to happen in the future.
I don't either at all.
Yeah. So anyhow, let's see what we got here. I was going to cut that short, and
yeah,
let's see what we have here. Actually,
oh, it's already 3:45. We could end it now too if you
yeah,
want.
we could probably end it because I do need to talk to you about a couple of things related to the show and all that and everything. So any plans? Any plans? I mean, I got other material, but we have time constraints there and all of that. Yeah, we do. So, you know, we have right now, as we speak, we have 11 people watching us.
Hey, look at you, Mr. Popular.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's great seeing a lot of the same people as before. So
I know it's good to see all of you guys back. Thanks again for like supporting us and still sticking around even after my little break.
no, we're glad to see you back. So
me too. I'm so excited to be back. I know I've been ghosting everyone over the last few months, and I've just been dealing with a really bad funk and depression and everything like that. So I'm just so happy to be out of it. And I know I've got a lot of making up to do for people. So I'm willing to put in the work and get back to how things used to be. I'm excited.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. We just glad to see you back. So that's what counts. So
thank you.
You got any plans this weekend?
Just keep an eye out for my Twitch. I'll probably be doing some gaming. Last week, me and Warren did a little bit of gaming on No Man's Sky together. We dual streamed, and we're going to hook up. We're supposed to hook up sometime last week, but we didn't. So maybe this week we're going to hook up and we're going to do split screen for both of us. So that way you'll be able to see my live stream and his live stream on his channel and my channel at the same time. So we're going to be working on that and do some more No Man's Sky. There's like a event that's got like 6 phases in the event, and we've only gone through phase 1. So we've got 5 more phases to go. I'm really excited about doing that. And then just my gaming on my Twitch. Just keep an eye out for the Twitch. Go give me a follow. It's Scarlet Sativa. I cannot type it in the chat. Damn it.
Okay.
It's okay.
You know what? Scarlet Sativa, you posted something up here. So
yeah, there it is.
You go. Yeah.
With a K and 2 T's. Yes. So yeah, just go ahead and give me a follow. I'm at like 100. I've hit 100 followers. I'm super stoked. So now I'm going to try to go for 200 followers for the next one. And I think that's it. Keep an eye out for us again next week, right?
Yeah, same time, same channel, or same channels next Tuesday, and of course, I'm trying to have a regular schedule on my live stream. So I'm thanking Warren for this. He gave me an idea how to do my live stream schedule wise. So I'm doing it right. I'm trying to do Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays like at 7:30 before I go to work.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to do. I wasn't able to do it on Friday because I had something I had to do Thursday, and I was just too tired on Friday.
No, it's good to, even if you miss a day or two here and there, it's good to get yourself on a set schedule, at least by a weekly. That way people know when to, like, you know, after a certain time, people will start to be like, oh wait, it's Tuesday at 7:30. I think I need to go check Willie, because you've already had that schedule. When you go on like at a random time, a lot of people don't get the notifications. So you end up missing out on seeing a bunch of people that you would know and be able to talk to in the chat if you did have a set schedule to where people can. It just helps out with your friends wanting to watch you and join in on the conversation and stuff, to have a set schedule instead of just randomly, here's a live video, here we go kind of thing. So yeah, it's good that you're doing that.
Yeah, and sometimes what I tend to do is that when I prepare my video, I always put a little disclaimer, not a disclaimer, a little note saying that there's a chance I might be a little late. So, because I work graveyard shift, and
Right.
And it's sometimes just hard to get out of that bed. When you work graveyard shift, you're just a little more tired than the average person.
I agree. Yeah, I couldn't do it.
Yeah. So I mean, when I get, because it's hard to say when I can get home in the morning because sometimes sometimes I'm running late and then when you get home, you're just kind of trying to wind down a little bit, and so sometimes I can go to bed at about 11:30 in the morning. Sometimes it's at 1:30 or 2 in the afternoon, and it's just it's just trying to get my So that's what happens right there. So trying to get up and grabbing a bite to eat, and even if I have everything set up, having to grab a bite to eat, and then shave and shower and get everything ready on time is kind of a tall order. And so I'm usually rushing, even when I'm ready at 7:30. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yep. Nope, I get it.
Yeah, which looks like I'm rushing when I'm actually doing the video. Okay, guys,
Right.
That's why I look like I'm like hyper or whatever when I'm doing my videos during those days. But I'm trying to do better. So
good.
Yeah,
You're doing awesome. You're doing an awesome job. Don't worry.
So anyway, let's see. I guess we'll say
Yep. Free Palestine. Catch y'all next week. Stay high.
Yeah, free Palestine. Stay high, and good times for all.
That's right.
All right. Let's see. Let's do this here, and y'all come back again next week, folks.
Y'all come back now. You hear?
You hear right now.